Alright guys, it's Morphin time! Red Dragon, Thunder Zord power, and Red Rangers, unite! Back to action! Oh man, my power sword's too small, I can't get the job done!
What the hell?
Yes, I like it.
Good. Hey guys, I am Joe.
I'm DJ.
And we are here with the Ranger wrap-up once again. This week we're going to be talking about
Rock Rangers.
Rock Rangers. And no, it's not a musical episode. It's
The Rangers rock.
that would have been the outtake. The Rangers rock. The Rangers do rock, actually.
They do, literally and figuratively.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about this episode. We're going to be bringing you some news, reading your questions and comments, and we have another list for you, another Morphin list for you.
Yes, sir.
But let's kick it off with looking at admiring our new beautiful, actually I should say DJ's new beautiful Legacy helmet.
Yes, sir. So right now it is retailed for about $100, so $99.99 plus tax. And honestly, if you don't want an Aniki or you don't want to spend the time of commissioning a helmet for yourself, this is a great display piece, and it does come with a stand and everything. I love it. It's meant to fit all shapes and sizes of heads. I mean, it is a little bit on the bigger side, but it's not a bad thing.
Can you pick it up and show them the inside of what the inside kind of looks like?
Absolutely, man. I mean, so this is the side. Okay, just kind of give you a
This isn't
gauge.
an unboxing, by the way.
It's
just
not at all, but just kind of give you a gauge. It does have like the clamps and the clips, and inside, very simple mechanism. So, adjustable behind the headpiece, adjustable by the top, and honestly, I think it's a great part of your collection, especially for those who ever wanted to wear a Ranger helmets. And here's your chance, so definitely pick it up.
Yes, and you don't have, like he said, which was, I think, very important, you're not waiting forever for an Aniki helmet, or you're not waiting forever for some of these other makers. You can go get it at retail. It looks great, actually. Looking at it in person, it looks great.
Yeah.
He had it on earlier. He said he was able to breathe just fine in it. It didn't have the fog issue.
Somebody felt the need to mention my small dragon dagger or power sword, but that's another topic.
Yeah, but it works out. But on to the news. I'm sorry, we got off topic, obviously, but it's something we talked about.
This is on topic.
It's on topic.
This is what we love.
Yeah, it's something we talked about in the past.
But speaking of Ranger toy news, so we're getting a buttload of Ninja Steel images flood the web. So we're getting the Megazord. We got the Ninja Steel Megazord. We got pictures of the new Elephant Zord, which makes the Rumble Tusk Megazord. As always, it is going to be Zord Builder compatible. Some people love it, some people hate it. I personally think it's a fun way to integrate all seasons and kind of do mashups.
Is that the Rumble Tusk Megazord? Is that actually the Zord's name for Ninja Steel?
If it's accurate to the name of this, then yes. The formation is going to be on the show. But right now, that is the official name. But there has been instances where they've given the toys the names, and they do change it for the show.
Sure.
But right now, so we have images of that. We got Battle Gear images. And we also have images of Rangers with the actual ninja stars, the shurikens, wearing it as armor. So we don't know if that's going to be a form of the cockpit battle suits, exclusive suits. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did do original footage for the cockpits.
I think that so we got a lot of that obviously here in this current season of Super Mega Force and Super Mega Force. Sorry, Dino Supercharge. Dino Supercharge was all original cockpit footage.
And compared to Kyuuja, to be honest with you, it looks exponentially better as far as I'm concerned. It looks clean. I actually like the cockpits better in Samurai as well compared to its Shinkenger counterpart. So I love our original.
That's
footage.
the one thing that you're ever gonna say you like more about Samurai than Shinkenger.
Sure, but I like Samurai just fine. You're the one that hates Samurai.
I don't like it. I
hate it.
I do. You know what? Well, we'll talk about it later. But sure. Lauren was a great part of it.
Lauren,
like that whole thing.
Is kind of wife. So
yeah, she's hot.
Kind of choose your words carefully. You interviewed her, by the way.
I did. She's beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful inside and out. Starting now, you can pre-order the vinyl album.
Yeah.
Of the Power Rangers music from Ron Wasserman.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about this is it's for our true vinyl collectors out there. So for those of us who like vinyl records, so if you have a record player out there, you can get the official first couple of seasons and have an official song from Ron Weiserman. So Go Power Rangers, it's safe to assume maybe Go Green Ranger. All your favorite Ron Weiserman is expected to be on it. As far as we know, pre-orders are up right now, and it's set to release next year.
Yeah, first quarter of next year. So anywhere between January and March, you'll be getting your Power Ranger vinyl. I Haven't seen these yet, but you said that the art, because the art's by I think it's J.C. Richard.
Absolutely, correct with that. And it's it feels retro in its pure. It's basically paint scatter art.
That's pretty cool.
No, it actually
it's like pop art almost, yeah.
Oh, it's exactly it.
Yeah.
Like it does pop. It is very much contemporary. Hey, looking at it at first glance, it doesn't seem like a Power Ranger record at all, but it's cool, it's hip. So if you have a record player, or if you want to, get your DJ on with your vinyls, like your man DJ.
The Rivers, the DJ of the Rivers.
DJ of the Rivers.
And a quick question for you is: do you miss kind of like the Ron Wasserman, how he had that soundtrack, kind of like go, and then the fight? You know what I mean?
5, 4, 1, fight.
Do you miss that?
You need a hero, dude. I've said this for a while now, and again, you and I love Power Rangers.
Yeah.
You and I, we love this stuff. Sentai, all the good stuff. Music has been very generic lately. The biggest thing I've loved lately has been the Dino Charge theme song.
I agree.
You know what I mean? That's like really cool. It's kind of poppy, gets you in the right state of mind. But I miss the original arrangements. I miss the rock out ballads. I miss the original song background music, because it set the tone.
Well, do you think that was more of a trope of the '90s, more so than actual being a trope of Power Rangers?
Both.
Yeah.
Both, absolutely. Because, I mean, obviously, like, having the rockish and it can, kind of get you into, like, hey, this is cool stuff that we're watching. And, it got me into rock, you know what I mean? It got me into, like, the hard stuff, you know what I mean? And metal and all that good stuff. But the themes were very, they stayed with you.
Yeah.
They were memorable.
And also, if you want to relive that experience from Mighty Morphin, because I think some of it might have carried over to Zeo, maybe.
No, I mean, Weiserman was there up until at least maybe Turbo?
Really?
Something like that. I don't, because we got Gold. Oh, but Gold Ranger wasn't Ron Weiserman though.
Oh, really?
That wasn't Ron Weiserman. Yeah, so he definitely did the first couple seasons. I think he did In Space.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, and if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below. But Ron Weiserman, I mean, for sure, go. Wow.
Go Green Ranger.
Go Green Ranger.
Go Green Ranger. Go.
You got a beautiful singing voice. So there's that.
We're gonna do that at karaoke.
There's 541. Yeah, next to Backstreet Boys. I want it that way. So you got 541.
Shout out to Michael Tabor.
Shout out to Michael Tabor. Dino Charge Green Ranger. Riley.
That's awesome.
Hero. Man, there's just so much.
Now
fight.
that you're saying them,
there's a song called Fight.
Now that you're saying them, it's like, I do miss those too.
Dude, it's more than just the 90s to me. To me, it set the mood, because it wasn't generic. It wasn't just something to have. And even if you heard the songs over and over again, you never got sick of them.
Yeah.
You never got sick of them.
Next bit of news.
Next bit of news is actually probably one of the biggest things we've been talking about recently, which is the Lionsgate Saban movie release of, or at least toy form of, the official Megazord from the Lionsgate movie. What are your thoughts, man?
All right, so you showed me the initial picture, which was the supposed 2 feet tall.
Yeah, so the interactive LED lights, like the whole, it's supposed to be 2 feet. All this is premature information coming out, but right now it's supposed to be 2 feet tall. It's supposed to be jumbo size. Comes with little mini 5 Ranger figurines.
I wonder how big those are going to be.
Probably, like probably pocket size. Big enough for them to be associated with the Megazord. I don't think they're going to be big enough to put in the cockpits, but you never know. They never know. But it's a more detailed version, because we have 2 images floating around. We have that one, and we actually have the figure, which has a little bit more color. Less accuracy to the movie, you would assume, just because they are meant to combine and form. But that's also comparable to Transformers the movie. Like, obviously, Transformers the movie, the CGI is much more detailed, intricate, much more mechanics based. Right. And then you get the toy version, which is going to be a lot less detailed and meant to be a toy and a gimmick.
Now, what do you think about it? Because this is our first look at the actual Megazord.
It's such a departure. That's the big. Dude, we love Power Rangers, but I would be lying if I said it's not a huge departure. Like, to me, for you Gundam Wing fans out there, it looks like Death Scythe with like the wings and the vampire theme, and it is alien. I will say that it does look very alien. I'm not sure if I'm a fan, or I'm not completely sold on the humanoid aspect of it, because it's very humanoid. It's not mechy.
It reminds, like I was telling you, it reminded me of the Destroyer from Thor.
Yeah.
The mesh.
Yeah,
but
the
like,
mesh, and
I'm a little surprised actually, because they did a rearrangement of where the certain Zords go, and obviously it has wings, which I didn't have a problem with.
I think the wings are fine.
But you and JD, one of our producers, mentioned that like the problem they have is the stomach part of being at yellow, because it's like Krang from Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, and the other thing is that the initial pictures that we have right now, it is. That's mine.
I was wondering.
It's like, is that my phone? No, but the initial pictures we have right now, one of them has more color and one of them has less color. The interactive Megazord has a lot less color. Like the wings are very gray. You can't even distinguish the feet. And then the other figures, you can see one of the feet or one of the legs is blue, one of the legs is black. The wings are definitely the pterodactyl wings and pink, but it flows a little bit better with the red chest piece. But the only thing that has every both of them pictures, wow, what did I say? The one thing that both pictures do have is the very yellow centerpiece, which is kind of.
Which one are you a fan of more? The matte color, more accurate, screen accurate figure, or are you more? No, I'm not even talking about the actual figures. Which one you're a fan of more? I'm talking about like which color scheme you're a fan of more.
First of all, I need to see it in action. But I would say I want to see more color because right now it is intimidating. Mm-hmm. But I would even say the Megazord now looks villainous.
Well, I would agree with you in terms of like the color scheme, mainly because like Power Rangers is such. I think is like we could get a gritty Power Ranger movie, and we've seen a lot of fan films like that.
Sure.
And I think that if we did get the more colored and more vibrant thing, because to me that's what Power Rangers is. Mm-hmm. You can make it more serious. You can make the tone a lot different.
Yeah.
But
still keep it Power Rangers.
Keep it somewhat based on the source material.
Well, one thing's for sure, you're not going to mistake this Megazord for like our Megazord from like the '93 version, which is to me the most iconic Megazord to date for us.
Agreed.
I mean, it looked like Optimus Prime. The functionality was very straightforward. You could actually do the actual sequence from the show with your toys, and you know what I mean. So it was a great design for a Megazord.
Dude, I saw one of the best cosplays. This is totally off topic. It was you just mentioned Optimus Prime, and it made me think of it.
Sure.
At LA Comic Con, somebody wore Amazon Prime, but they cut up a bunch of Amazon boxes and made it look like Optimus Prime. So they were Amazon Prime. It was awesome.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So anyways, it'd be interesting to see this new Megazord in action.
Yeah.
It's a mix between Pacific Rim, kind of Gundam-ish, but it's not. It doesn't feel tokusatsu. That's the one thing I will say. It doesn't feel like a big mecha fight that you're not a fan of anyways, but it doesn't feel like your OG.
Which is funny, actually, because I was a huge fan of Pacific Rim.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And like I actually went and saw Pacific Rim, and I sat in the front row because I wanted to get the scale and like look up at these mechs. But yeah, I'm a fan as long as we can kind of keep it on kilter with it being like
the theme.
Zord fights. I'm down with that.
I will say this.
I don't want it to move like a human either, actually.
But it looks like a human. So
I know, but I don't want it to move as smooth and as fluid. You know.
Well, I feel like since so much of the concepts and so much of the design is a mix between alien and like kind of like a symbiont. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Symbiotes. Yeah. So like the suits were coming on like Venom and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying that it is going to be sentient or living creatures, but there's reason to believe that it is a mix between both.
Kind of like the suits choose, like the coins in the suits choose you kind of a deal.
Like everything is very conscious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's almost like the Energems.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be really interesting to see. But I want to see how they combine. I think how the movie does and how the movie portrays it is going to really make or break its acceptance in the fandom.
I agree.
Yep. So we have today's episode, The Rangers Rock. And here's a clip.
Yeah.
It's about to get wild. Take that. Caveman slam.
So we have The Rangers Rock. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. I love this episode.
I loved it too.
Loved this episode.
We always get these iconic shots in Power Rangers, and one of them is in this episode where you get the scene of all 10 Rangers.
Yeah, long time coming.
Yeah,
long time
it's
coming. It's
something we've been anticipating, and I'm happy that. Like you knew you were gonna get it, but I'm happy they didn't give it to us so quick.
Sure.
That they had us wait for it, and then when you see it, it made it that much more important.
Absolutely, I 110% agree with you. The payoff and just seeing that diversity, not just ethnicity-wise or nationality-wise, but literally we got like a giant bird.
Species-wise.
We got species-wise, you know what I'm saying? So to me, this is like, and I think Kyoryuger did a good job, the Sentai counterpart of Dino Charge, Kyoryuger did a good job as far as having that diversity, because obviously most of the actors are prominently Japanese, but you did have Ramirez.
I love Ramirez,
and you did have Torn, who is, again, our Xeno Wing, and it is very reminiscent of like Deca Ranger or SPD, and having like every trick in the book in one season. So you have like the sleeves that are different, like Ninja Storm. You know, you have like the Charlie Brown zigs, kind of like Lost Galaxy. You know, like point is there's like a good nod to a lot of influences throughout Ranger seasons.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we kick off this episode with Sledge's ship still being destroyed, and Sledge is finally back. So that's kind of cool.
But really back.
Like, oh man, in pure form, man.
Yeah.
And it's weird because we were talking about
we compared him to Lord Zed a lot. And this is
every which way.
Yeah, and this is definitely like
down to the wife.
But I think that this is what's great about this season is because it is its own season, but it's doing so many callbacks to things that you or we are familiar with as fans. Is like, oh, I can't, like, at first it's like, oh, you can't put your finger on it. Who's that character? Oh, it's like Lord Zed.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about it is, like, we were talking about Arcanon kind of being kind of a punk in the last episode. Like, he goes from like, oh, you mess with me, you will be destroyed.
Yeah.
But out of character, he was really underutilized. Like, he was destroyed right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
But that's the one thing I didn't like, and we talked about this like last week, is the build up to Arcanon.
Total switching character.
He almost came out of nowhere, and he's like, this badass guy, or this bad guy's coming in, and he's taking over, and it's like, oh man, I'm afraid of this Arcanon guy.
And take no prisoners. No prisoners. Like, you mess up, you get one shot.
Yeah.
You get one shot to be destroyed, and he was very consistent with that.
But then now
he didn't mess with Arcanon.
Yes. But now that we got Snide back. Sledge back. It was kind of like
the tables are turned, and now I'm taking my throne. And it wasn't like he was just a bounty hunter that worked for Arcanon. Now he's just like, let me go ahead and take back my power position as the main villain of both seasons.
Oh, but the real one, the power position, is Poisandra.
Poisandra is the one with the power position. Okay, you ever hang out and you have your girlfriend, and you know we try to keep our girls happy. This girl did not care that he was in front of his boys, in front of Snide, in front of all the, just the henchmen, slaps the heck out of Sledge, and demanded an answer. Where have you been? I have been worried sick, and you have not even told me anything. It was one of those.
I almost feel like my girlfriend would do that to me, and a lot of you guys know her.
I feel like we could all relate to that situation. Where she's like, do you know what time it is? Like 10 o'clock. And he actually does come up with a story as far as what really happened.
We were hanging out over the weekend, and one of the nights it was like you, me, Brian, Ernie, we were all outside talking, and it was like 3:30 in the morning, and I was just getting these texts, where are you? So it's like, oh, here we go.
Like a good boyfriend, he was like, no.
And Ernie's the one that's like, we got to call it quits, guys.
He was a responsible one.
Yeah,
we had at least another hour,
but we get back
left in us.
Point Sandra is that, like,
she wears the pants in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I don't feel like it takes away from Sledge.
No, not at all. I don't
think it takes away from Sledge.
But the great thing too is Poisandra is such a good character, and it's a lot different than Rita.
Absolutely,
it's because she, in a weird way, she has like this innocence to her. Yeah, but she has also this innocence to her. But she's a villain, and it's like she is a very cross between a. She's a fun bad guy.
No, she is.
A really good bad guy.
And you get the respect mainly because Sledge, and we'll move on in a second, but like Sledge is so consistent with everybody else. The only exception is Poisandra.
Yeah.
She's the only one that he kind of even gives a little bit of mercy to.
Yeah.
More than mercy. Obviously, he's like wrapped around her finger. But anyways, so we get the explanation as far as what really happened when Sledge's ship went down. He survived it. He survived the crash. He's injured. He finds these rock, almost egg glowy type stones. He takes them, comes across Heckle in the jail cell, makes a deal, and escapes. And in the meantime, he was doing a little reconnaissance and vacationing around the world. So that included China, Japan.
The Japan song was amazing.
The Japan song was amazing, and then also Hawaii. And
who likes Japan? Nobody likes Japan. That was like his thing.
Yeah, exactly. He just had like the time of his life doing karaoke in Japan, of all places. So the guy,
I had a question for you about that actually.
Sure,
so Is he a villain that's specifically for the American version?
Oh yeah, he's completely original.
Okay, because I didn't know if like that part where he's in Japan partying, I didn't know if that was from a scene from like a.
No, not at all. No, all that is original. Matter of fact, you know who the big baddie was in Kyoryuger?
Oh,
it was Arcanon. He was the boss.
Oh yeah, I should know that because I actually watched Kyoryuger.
Yeah. So he was the main bad guy. So the fact that they incorporated it was. It was interesting.
They did a really good job of incorporating things from the Sentai.
So we get back to so while Sledge is explaining the whole how to escape, James Navarro, Tyler's dad, is there spying and overhearing the whole backstory, and also knows that they have the Dark Energem and big stuff has gone in the works. Big stuff is on the way. So priority number one is get Sledge's ship active again, get it working, and get airborne. So we get back to the Dino Museum, and Shelby's in the base, and Xenowing is going over geo rocks with Shelby and saying how special they are. And, you know, Shelby's kind of like, oh, they're just rocks. And Xenowing lets him know, like, no, you can make Zords.
You know, so
Zords from geo rocks.
I've always made fun of Xenowing's voice, obviously. A lot of people that watch our show know that.
Before he was Xenowing.
Before he's Xenowing. But I got the, you know who he sounds like, though? Patrick Warburton. The guy that did the Tick.
Yeah.
He sounds a lot like him.
Okay.
You can see it? You can at least hear it.
I wouldn't be like, what? Okay, fine. Sure.
It's very much like, it's that heroic like voice that they were looking for, like the Patrick. If anybody that's ever seen The Tick, they know what I'm talking about.
Sure. So anyways, Xenowing explains how to make Zords. Well, not yet, but he says that he could teach Shelby how to make a Zord, which is really great timing because of today's episode. The Rangers, what's really cool about the season is the Rangers are legitimately friends. Like in their off time, they actually find stuff to do together. So boys are going to be boys, and frickin'
most of them though. I mean, Prince Philip is.
Oh yeah, but he has a country to run, so he's a prince. He's you.
And then James Navarro is still off gallivanting, forgets that he has a son. Apparently,
he was trying to find Sledge's ship, and he found it.
He did
find it, but you know he's definitely Goku of the season. Like, hey, I'll be back.
Yeah, he just leaves, takes off.
Whatever he feels like it. Gohan is definitely Piccolo's kid.
Yeah.
So anyways, the boys are being boys. They're having a cake eating contest.
A pavlova cake eating contest. So back to that episode.
So good callback and good reference for that one. Kendall lets them know that they got not distress them, but a message from James Navarro saying like, hey, by the way, Sledge is back and all that other stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Kendall also gets, I've noticed in this season recently, tomato to the face, pavlova cake to the face.
Some of the best humorous parts have been from Miss Morgan.
And she's grown. You made a great point off, Greg.
She's a lot more patient.
She's a lot more patient now.
Absolutely. So, anyways, they get the whole lowdown that Tyler's dad finds the base. Stuff is in the works.
His reconnaissance actually worked.
Yeah, he actually mission accomplished. Good job. So,
one thing you had mentioned in the past though about James Navarro is that, and I didn't notice it as much until this episode, that if his lines are dubbed. We don't know 100%, but
we have reason to believe that. Watch closely to James Navarro, Tyler's dad, talk. His lips and the words don't quite fit.
Yeah, so we're thinking that his voice is actually dubbed over. That's not. We don't know. Maybe anybody out there that might know, leave a comment below. We'd love to know for ourselves.
And it might be a New Zealand thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a lot of the actors do come specifically from New Zealand, outside of the core Rangers.
And especially if you're going to cast specifically to have somebody that resembles Tyler.
Sure.
You're obviously going to want to cast somebody, regardless of what their voice might sound like. You're going to make a compromise for it. Yeah.
For the sense of integrity for the character.
It would make sense.
So anyway, now that they're privy to the fact that Sledge is here, they have to come up with a plan. Do we go on the offensive? Do we play defense? And it comes down to Shelby's idea. Like, okay, we can't use Zords. How about we sneak on, guarantee that we get the Dark Energem, and mount an offensive, but sneak on. So sneak attack basically. We're going to do a sneak attack. The Rangers agree, and that's what they're going to go with. Now back on.
But what I loved about that scene too was that this was our first time we saw the Power Ranger War Room where they're all around a round table talking about strategizing.
And that's a beautiful thing too, is because we do have a sense of finality coming ahead, just because now we have the main villain, reveal himself take center stage again.
And this episode seemed epic.
Yeah, it was. So we have. We have a great Beyonce reference. So Sledge is definitely whipped, like with Poisandra. Like he is at her mercy for sure. We get a really cool reference from Beyonce because she's still not happy with Sledge, and
she shows Chip Lynn's hip to the scene.
She definitely tells him if he likes it, he should have put a ring on it. I don't know what the likes it is in the Power Ranger universe, but if he liked it, he should have put a ring on it.
He should have put a ring on it.
So anyways,
there's only been one Power Ranger wedding ever. You think about that? It's Rita and Zed.
Power Ranger wedding?
Wedding.
Wedding. Oh, wedding in Power Rangers? We've had fake weddings.
We've had fake weddings, but Rita and Zed was like the only one I can at least clearly remember.
Well, that's the most iconic. So anyways, Sledge is aware. Sledge and company is aware that they're going to mount an offensive, so they're going to meet him halfway. So basically, their sneak attack is ruined. They know they're coming, and they send the monster of the week. I believe it's Pedusa.
Oh, dude.
And what's interesting about this, go for it, man.
Pedusa, to me, looked like a real villain should look. Like, to
Yeah.
me, it was like a frightful villain where it's like this villain. Sometimes in seasons you get these villains that you're like, oh, this is a good one. Like, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Like, and the one that stuck out in Mighty
He
Morphin.
didn't let us down for sure.
Yeah, the one that stuck out in Mighty Morphin to me was where Zack fought the Knight.
Nasty Night.
And
Nasty
that
Knight.
to me, it was like, oh, that villain looks ominous.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about Padusa in this.
And also, fun fact in trivia, Padusa. Somebody want to get that? So Padusa is Death Ryuger in Japan.
Oh, really?
That is who our supposed Talon Ranger in the Death Ryuger suit is. Like, he's this creepy, funky alien.
This is crazy. You know what? I didn't know that, actually.
Yep.
Because this episode, we talked about this. We didn't talk about that specifically, but this episode had a lot of ties into what Talon Ranger could have and would have
lead
been.
up to.
Yeah.
We try not to spoil ourselves too much, but...
And we're not going to now.
And we're not going to now. But we do want Talon Rangers, what we're trying to say. Like, we want to see the Death Ryuger suit, and it would make sense for it to happen. That's how we're going to
You know what's crazy? Like, it's just talking about Talon Ranger in general, is that within Zeo, we had this lead up to who the Gold Ranger is. And I
We
feel
had
like...
a whole arc about it.
Yeah, but with Talon, it's like, this isn't a character that was never... We live in a different age where
Information
spoils things. And like, there's even, and nothing against Saban, because they've never referenced a Talon Ranger.
No.
It's just that action figures of and things of...
So you do feel like we put the expectation on ourselves?
I think so.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about it, I think so.
Not to mention, because we live in the more digital age, we have information at our fingertips.
Yeah.
So not only do we have the expectation, we have somewhat pre-leaks to kind of look forward to.
And this is the thing too, is just because the other Rangers may appear in Sentai doesn't necessarily.
There's no guarantee.
And not only that, because they don't have to. They're two different things. If we wanted to be Sentai, we would watch. I mean, if I wanted Sentai personally, I would watch Sentai. Yeah.
If you want to watch Rangers, and vice versa. I mean, just because it's not in Sentai doesn't mean they won't do something original. I mean, again, cockpit footage. There's so many original battle footages that was just specific for our Ranger show.
Sure.
So
I didn't mean to get off topic.
No, that's all right. So anyways, Padusa and the Vivics meet the Rangers halfway who are trying to sneak attack. And dude, this is a great moment where all 10 Rangers are throwing down.
Yeah.
Unmorphed.
Hero shot. I love this. I love unmorph.
So cool.
I love unmorph fights. Number one.
Shout out to Prince Phillips, who did not feel the need to ever take off his suit, and on the mission still came in like a 2-piece or 3-piece.
Totally did. He's always looking so well groomed.
And this was not an exception. You had to look sharp while sneak attacking Sledge's main base.
Amazing. You know what I did? I also
Pretty great.
The epicness of that fight was. It reminded me, and I know this isn't a fair comparison, but it reminded me somewhat of like the legendary battle, except with just these 10 Rangers.
The heightened stakes was there.
Yeah.
Because it is like, man, now we have our big bad back, and now all television. I will say this: having all 10 Rangers assembled is a beautiful sight. Not only is it a diverse cast. Interspecies wise, it's diverse. You know, you do have Zeta Wing, you do have multiple backgrounds, you do have people out of time.
Well, that's a great lesson for anybody that has a group of friends, kind of like at hashtag show here.
Sure.
We have so many different people that are just like
really different,
just all diverse, and it just reminded me of us in a way where it's like Prince Philip, a giant bird.
With
Shelby, you know what I mean?
A caveman.
Yeah, a caveman.
A knight.
Yeah, you have all these dudes.
And when you say it that way, it's really cool to think like, man, a knight, a caveman.
Well, if I were to pitch you a show and I said, listen, this season, I think all the Rangers should be, I think we should have a prince, a knight, a giant bird.
What?
Yeah, I think we should have a scientist. I think we should have a caveman. I think we should have a player, a guy that plays,
a scientist museum person. Well,
I think we should have a dude that's pretty much an orphan.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean?
Pretty much an orphan. And a skateboarder.
Yeah.
Joe, are you feeling okay?
That's right. You say that on paper, but like when they actually did it, it kind of works.
It's amazing that we have such a diverse group. So, anyways, they throw down in the woods, and just to the name of Padusa, which is a play on Medusa, he's able to turn and he's a good baddie. Like, he's tough, so he's able to turn the majority of the Rangers into stone. So the only ones left is Shelby, Jade Navarro, and Prince Phillips. So,
but you know what I loved about that too is that I love it when they team up the like people that aren't used to being
the ones that aren't seen together the most.
Yeah. I love that stuff. So we had that again in a past episode just recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is great.
Yep, absolutely. So, anyways, essentially, Medusa won. Like, he kind of won that fight. He did win that fight, and now they have to regroup, re-strategize, and see what they're going to do about it. So, back to the command center. So, Xenowing's encapsulated into stone too, and again, coincidence for Power Rangers. Since they're in stone, they can't use their Zords, which is a new lesson for us. We did not know, what the ins and outs as far as Zord activation, but it makes sense.
Wait, did we skip a part
Did we?
where they get saved, kinda? When
Oh,
they're hiding?
we're
getting there. Okay.
We're getting there. So essentially, Keeper back in the base tells Shelby, we have no Zords. We technically have no Zords. Now this is really interesting to me. Now we find out that the Triceratops, the Ankylozord, and the
Brachia. No.
the Pachysord, they can't be commanded because they don't have a cockpit, which is weird because they are technically independent. But for some reason, I mean, it made sense they made it work for the story. But I feel like that's kind of a loophole. I do feel like that's kind of a hole.
Here's the thing that I do like about Power Rangers sometimes is that it doesn't happen every season, but sometimes it does, is that I don't like when they can form like a Megazord without all the members being there.
Sure, but this season has not been an exception to that because we have seen them form many Zords where not everyone is present.
Yeah.
So they are able to at least feed off if the majority is there for sure. But in this case, we learned that since they're in stone, they can't summon the Zords, but they could have easily, I think this is a little loophole, and again, we still love Power Rangers. They could have easily commanded like the Triceratops and the Ankylo and the Pachysord to go independently and kind of do like a Pokemon battle thing, like, do they attack? Drill attack? They could have done it that way. And we have seen them do it that way, so I think that's a little bit of a hole, but it's fine. Anyways, Keeper charges Shelby with a new job of creating a new Zord because Xenowing taught her.
Well, I also like the tie back too that this is Shelby's roots is she wanted to be a paleontologist.
She's a dino head.
Yeah, dino head, exactly.
She's definitely a dino head, and we kind of lost sight of that a little bit. Yep. We didn't get that connection since the first season.
Like that she just didn't turn into Tyler's girlfriend either.
No, very independent woman, this girl.
Yep.
Which is, we have two independent women. We have Shelby and we have Poisandra.
Well, and you have Claire. Excuse me. You have Kendall.
Yeah, absolutely, Miss Morgan. So ultimately, in this world of Power Rangers, or in this season of Power Rangers, they make Zords in the form of some type of alchemy. So we're talking about like sugar, spice, and everything nice. But in this case, they use like They use like bones, metal, crystal, and the spirit of a powerful warrior. So we're definitely getting Talon Ranger coming soon.
Well, yeah, and I also like that prior to this, that before this scene happens, Xenowing explains to Shelby that the Zords are pretty much sentient. They're living creatures.
Sure.
And so for her to have put all this together and kind of create a sentient thing was pretty cool too.
Yeah, 100% agreed. So anyways, she's successful. A new Zord is born, and they have to go to the Zord, and that's where they come across a campsite, and this is where they come across Heckle.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about, shout out to Ryan Carter, because he did a really good job. I feel like he wasn't just all of a sudden he didn't pull an Arcanon. He didn't pull an Arcanon where all of a sudden he's just like, hey guys, you want to be friends? We don't like the same guy.
Because before that, when I don't think we mentioned this, and during that fight scene, Heckle saves them, like when they're about to get away.
We skipped that.
We did skip that.
I do apologize. So it was very quick. Yeah.
Yeah, but he comes out and saves them, and they don't know that this is they think that he's going to shoot them.
Yeah.
And that's it. Game over.
Well, they don't know that
they've separated.
Heckle and Snide has separated at that point. So it's a very quick thing. And we also do find out from Medusa that he is responsible for destroying the Kyoryuger galaxy.
I loved that.
You loved that.
I loved it. I didn't catch it.
Forced?
I mean, of course it is, but at the same time, I don't think it's forced as much as it is paying homage to its predecessor. So I shouldn't say predecessor, but its counterpart.
To its roots.
Yeah.
To its roots. And I will say this. I mean, I do think it is cool to have the references. I actually lost my train of thought. But anyways, they did make it work. They did mention that he destroyed Kyoryuger. And again, for those who don't know, Kyoryuger is the Sentai equivalent to Dino Charge.
And we've had Sentai 6.
So there's fun little like breaking the fourth wall or third wall or whatever, like references.
That reference is for us.
Yeah,
not just for us, for our kind of fan base, for our fans. Yeah.
Absolutely.
For all you that are watching the show, probably.
No, for all of us.
Yeah.
So anyways, it comes down to them finding Heckle's base. And Heckle, again, as Ryan...
campsite.
I'm sorry, you're right. Campsite. And again, he's not reformed or anything, but he does have a common enemy. But it's not one of those things where, hey, I'm on your side. It's more like I have my own agenda.
Loved it.
I know what I want to do. Don't get in my way. Now, if it happens to be the same, then great. If not, whatever.
You know, the one thing I love about Heckle that I maybe even about this season is that usually when you get this either kind of mind control thing or whatever in Power Rangers, as soon as it's done, they're just a good guy, and it's just like,
and
oh, this
weaker,
is and weaker, and it's like, oh, they've always been a good person. Where his character, the core of who he is, didn't change.
But what was really cool, the reintegration in this is more like it's not the fact that he's evil, but he's bitter.
Yeah,
and that's really cool.
And it's all about revenge.
It is all about revenge. And here's the one thing he didn't mention: everything that he has done as Heckle, Snide, or the mixture of the two, has been to restore Sentai 6. They didn't say how they would restore Sentai 6, but everything that he's done, every single action, which again at this point may not be evil, but definitely bitter, has been for the restoration of Sentai 6, but they didn't say how that would be or how they would do it. So anyways, Heckle, Keeper, Shelby, James, and Prince Phillips are now that's the team right now. That's the team essentially. So we get
and this is our first glimpse that Keeper found out that Heckle was one of the only survivors of Sentai 6.
Of Sentai 6. So Keeper was very aware of that history.
Yeah.
Of that history. So anyways, we get Medusa again, and we do have another fight with a new team. They Magna Beam up very, very quickly.
I like that.
We do have the big Megazord fight for this episode, and the introduction of the Spinosaurus. So the Spinozord, which was really cool. So the combination between Spinosaurus and the Ankylo.
DJ,
and
quick
Pachy.
question: is a Spinosaurus a dinosaur?
Yes, it is. Moving on. So, anyways, they have the new Megazord fight, and it's a dope cockpit scene, man. We have Keeper in the cockpit now,
Which was great.
which was amazing. So they
Keeper's grown on me.
Keeper is dope.
He's not as creepy as I used to think he was.
His design is still.
He makes weird noises.
He makes you make weird noises.
does,
For the
he
record,
does.
like he makes you grunt in my ear.
To me, Keeper
DJ.
does that. He's like, I'm watching you.
Moving on. So we have the big Zord fight, and they shrink him down to size, and they didn't even destroy him once. Like he goes to big size, and they reduce him to size, so they break the spell, and now the Rangers are free.
Never a good thing when you're going from big size to getting reduced to size. But you know what I did?
Yeah, no kidding.
What I did like is the fact that it changed up the formation of which a Power Ranger episode goes. So as we all know, we get the story beats, we get the conflict, we get the first fight with the henchman, then we get the bad guy fight, and then we get the Zord fight.
Exactly.
And now it's changing it. It's good. It's taking the pieces, still making a great episode, taking the pieces, but putting them in different places.
But it also makes you wonder. We'll get to that. But so anyway, so he's reduced the size, the spell is broken, and now we get the coolest thing, which is all 10 Rangers fight. And to me, this is one of the best of the season. And probably one of, like, I would actually put this fight like top 10 for sure.
I'm going to mention the morph sequence.
10. Oh, yeah.
Something I didn't realize when Xenowing morphs is that you can see them when they're in their suits, but he still has his like bird head.
His attire, yeah.
His attire. I think that's still pretty cool because when I saw it, I was like, oh, I don't know why I never noticed this.
We haven't had a lot of morphs with him.
That maybe that's why.
Yeah, it's like a third or second.
I thought it was he was going to do the morph thing, and he was just going to have the silver suit on.
It just comes over him.
It just comes over him. Yeah.
And one thing I love about this morph sequence period is the fact that you actually see them go from black suits to it being charged up to white suits. Like I love that a lot. But Xenowing doesn't. He just keeps his attire. But and then it goes to the Silver Ranger suit. And then the head is still there, and then the helmet goes over it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of dope.
It is pretty dope. It is pretty cool.
But to me, this is like top 10 fights of like Power Rangers period, as far as seeing every 10 Ranger, or each 10 Rangers get a highlight.
Yep.
So this was really, really cool. So Tyler, Super Dino T-Rex Charge Power Up. Don't forget me for not getting the name right. It was something like that.
I'm not a big fan of the powered up suits.
The last Battleizer I've liked. I mean, I'm a Jason wearing the Dragon Shield kind of guy.
Yeah, but I don't consider that necessarily like you know.
A lot of people consider it the first Battleizer.
Oh, really?
I mean, officially, like the in space one was the first Battleizer.
Yes, that's the one I don't like.
But that's the
giant
Hulk.
bulking muscles.
That's the Hulk mode. That was the American Ranger for sure.
Not a fan of that.
So
not a fan.
Anyway, so
I did like the Triassic Ranger though.
I hated the
Really?
Triassic Ranger, Mr. Stretch Armstrong.
Well, I like the way the Triassic Ranger looked.
Yeah, his powers were goofy.
Well, his powers were goofy, but he looked cool. I remember during Dino Thunder.
You know what it is? I like the. I take it back. I think I like the Triassic Rangers. I didn't like the Triassic Battleizer. Because
okay.
Dino Thunder was one of the most overpowered Red Rangers in like Ranger history.
Oh yeah.
He had like power-ups beyond power-ups because he had like Super Dino mode, he had the Triassic Ranger, and then he had a Battleizer.
You know,
He's OP.
I almost felt that he was OP'd. He for sure. I remember the rumors that the Triassic Ranger might be a completely separate Ranger.
It might be Devin.
Yeah.
There was like no reason to think he was Devin, but I don't know why that rumor got put out there. But anyways,
because we live in a different age, dude.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That was the age of like, rumors in the internet kind of stuff was kind of starting out, and
Sure.
Power Rangers like really getting there. Now
it's like forget about it. Like every information is true.
But seeing all 10 Rangers fight like that, super cool.
So so Tyler powers up, does some damage, and then we get our first all 10 victory maximum.
Oh
and
my
finally,
gosh.
monster extinct. And one thing I love about this episode is like. Shelby takes charge in this episode. Like she's such a strong female in this episode.
Independent.
And she was exactly. And she was she was without question a boss.
You know what? I didn't even think about this. Did you realize that the theme of the episode was independent women?
The more me and you talked about it, yes.
Like even to the Beyonce reference.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
She was not the damsel. Guess what? Tyler was the damsel in distress.
Oh yeah.
Tyler was the damsel in distress.
I love it.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Dude. Love that. Anyways,
so cool.
So we end up the episode with everyone's good, everyone's safe. Sledge does fix his ship with the help of the Dark Energem. So now, and the one thing we did forget to mention is the fact that Heckle, when he met Shelby, gave her a warning and said, "Yo, here's a piece of advice." Leave the planet. And who says that? You know what I mean? We still live in an age where we don't leave planet that easy. But he says to her, take my advice. Leave the planet.
And the tone I got from that was that
concern.
Well, not just that, but also like he pretty much took my planet, and I'm going to do some crazy stuff. And if you want to be safe, get off of this planet.
Matter of fact, that was his motivation for even helping in the first place, because he knows what it's like to lose Sentai 6. He knows what it's like not to lose a home, lose a planet.
Ryan Carter is a pretty good. I liked his acting in this episode and throughout the season.
It took a while for me to actually get
to warm up to him.
Well, when he first got introduced, he was very flamboyant. He was very steampunk, but it was like you went from Sledge to this human.
That's another one too. If we do get the Talon Ranger, and he would like just that kind of group of outcasts and people all fit together.
It would have been perfect.
Yeah, like a steampunk guy now too.
God, I don't even want to think about Talon not being. Anyways, so we get to the end where I love the fact that you see Shelby and Tyler holding hands, and the big lesson, because she's like still the dedicated girlfriend, but she is like.
Well, you brought up a great point. Tyler was the damsel in distress in this.
Absolutely, and the cool thing about it is, we got the lesson for today's episode, which is you learn from your mistakes. Which I argue that a little bit because I don't think Shelby made a mistake. She just unfortunately her plans just didn't, her plans got interrupted. I don't think she did anything wrong. It's just unfortunately her plans didn't really go the way they should have.
Yeah.
So
things happen.
Yeah. Power Rangers. So, anyways, she forwards the warning from Heckle to the other Rangers, saying, "Hey, he kind of warned us to get off the planet." They're still hesitant because he was a bad guy. And he was the main bad guy for a while.
Another moment I liked is the war room kind of like talk of what do we do next.
Yeah.
And then they're all debating maybe we should leave the planet.
This is definitely setting up for like the final act.
Yeah, but that was great because what you can kind of tell, like this was the first part of like, all right, now it's coming to an end.
Absolutely.
And you can feel it and it's happening. But the unfortunate part is it is coming to an end. And like now that we have all 10 of them kind of together, it's like, I really kind of want another season with all 10 of these guys.
I love this season. I mean, again, it's
11 if you count Heckle.
If you count Talon. So I will say this. I like this cast a lot. I like this cast a lot. I think it's offered and has contributed a lot to Rangers.
I agree.
So that was our Rangers Rock. Let's go ahead and rate this episode, man. So on a scale from 1 to 5, dude.
5. I'm going 5.
5. I think this is our first. Is this our first 5?
Yeah, it's our first 5. It's our first 5. If it's not, if it's our first 5 that we both have agreed on.
Sure. No, absolutely agree. No, dude, I laughed. I cheered. I got excited. To me, this episode was like, it had all the tricks.
And even to the point where they're all standing there, it's going to be one of the final few episodes, and you're like, man, this sucks because it's going to be fun to find. It took me through all these range of emotions, like you had just said.
But what's really cool about it? This is a way to keep it Rangers trope, keep the formula to a certain degree, but not sacrifice with filler.
Yeah.
There was very little filler. I mean,
this episode
but the point is that you still had like the lesson of like, hey, learn from your mistakes, which was, again, I don't think was accurate, but it was in there. But it wasn't like a huge like.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't think that's the lesson. Like
That
to
was
me,
the lesson for today's episode.
to me, I think the lesson was that, well, if there was a lesson, I see. You know how we talked about it last
Sure.
week of like, sometimes there's episodes that have lessons, sometimes there's episodes that drive story.
Yeah.
I think
This was a story one, by the way.
This was definitely a story one, but if I took a lesson away from this, it was that there's strong, independent women that are sometimes going to save your butt.
I think that's the overall, like, what you should take from this episode. But to me, they actually, the one that was laid out in like crayons was like,
Sure.
hey,
The one that's in high and bright lights.
Yeah,
it's,
that was the one in Vegas lights. But the bigger lesson for sure is women will hold it down. Women are very capable, and women will save the day.
Speaking of that, we have a great Morphin list, which is going to be the top 5 boss female Power Ranger moments.
I love it. Let's do it. So today's Morphin list, top 5 female
Boss
moments throughout Rangers, or at least our pick. So number 5, we're gonna go with Emma from Megaforce, the episode where she had to fake a wedding with Orion. This girl went to work in this episode. She was like a patrol girl. She was a cheerleader. She was pretty much cosplaying the entire episode. Pretty much just took charge, had to take care of business, and I think she did a great job doing it. So I do like that pink centric episode. So that's gonna be our number 5 now.
Yeah, and it's showing love to Megaforce.
It's showing love to Megaforce, which, you know,
A lot of people don't do. Number 4, we are gonna go with one of my favorite seasons, Samurai.
He loves it.
This is actually a boss moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Is Lauren taking over the team? A team that was hers anyway.
Yeah.
Birthright
By right,
wise.
yeah.
She is our first official red female Power Ranger in terms of being introduced as the leader.
Well, that's a hard one.
It's iffy.
Our first sight of good Ranger. Nah, that's a hard one too.
Well, she's one of the top female Red Rangers, one of the only female Red Rangers.
Sure.
More on that later. And
So-
this was a what moment, DJ?
A boss.
Yeah.
Female moment. Anyways, our number 3 is going to be Delcia from Power Rangers, the first movie from 94-95. She came in more than just like a boss. She came in just, she got a lot of sweet puberty.
Yes.
She drove the Tengu warriors away. She had her little whirly sticks. She tripped the heck out of Tommy, put him at her mercy, and she was pretty much the ninja of the movie.
And you get the perception that she could have beaten all 6 of them.
Yeah. I mean, not to mention, right out the gate, you know that she knows Zordon. You know, she knows like any friend of Zordon is a friend of mine. I'm a wise old sage, but I guess you have to earn worthiness for these ninjetti powers.
Question: would you have rather had Delcia or Ninjor?
Delcia.
Really?
No, not really. Delcia for personal reasons, but no, Ninjor. I don't like Ninjor's voice. He did not sound like, I don't care what
Rangers.
Ninjor yodeled, sir.
He did.
Ranger.
He came in a flying cloud too.
He was Goku on a cloud.
Yeah.
He was for sure Goku. So number 2.
Number 2 is from one of my favorite seasons, and we talked about female Red Rangers.
Our favorite seasons.
Yeah, our favorite seasons, and we talked about female Red Rangers, and the actual first was Charlie, leader of A Squad.
Yeah, that's the reason why we had a hard time right now as far as like kind of placing Lauren, because she is the first Ranger, our female Red Ranger in Ranger history, but Charlie is our first American-made female Ranger.
Yes.
Red Ranger, female Red Ranger.
And it's cool.
In our Ranger history.
Yeah, and that's cool because like the one thing I love about A Squad, and we've talked about this in the past, is that
SPD period.
They weren't under a spell. This was a choice they made.
Yeah.
And that was bouse to me, mainly because it was like, all right, we know what we're doing. We're going to be bad, and or not even bad. I'm sure in their heads they thought they were doing right, but they were doing anything they could to advance whatever they wanted it to do.
Yeah, the selfish ambitions.
Yeah, selfish ambitions, and I like that they stuck by their guns and they owned it.
And it really played to the fact that it was so unexpected that when A Squad Red Ranger, because the entire season was about finding A Squad. The entire season is like, okay, you are B Squad, you are B Squad, like you are basically you're the backup. Mm-hmm. So the whole lead up, and then finding out that the leader of A Squad, the Red Ranger of A Squad, was a female, which again, why not?
Hopefully we get an actual, because even with Lauren, it was such a short span of time.
Yeah,
her as the Red Ranger.
But when she came in, she took control.
Yeah,
she took control.
I do want to see a Red Ranger, a female Red Ranger throughout a whole season though.
Sure. I mean, it would take some imagination on our end, just because obviously we get a lot of our source material from Sentai, but we have gender bended before. Matter of fact, one of the biggest rumors going into Dino Charge, because Uchi from Kyoryuger was more feminine and he was more slender. A lot of people thought that Gold Ranger this season was going to be a female.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was one of the biggest rumors for Dino Charge, because there was a lot of people convinced that Gold Ranger was going to be a female because there was only one Pink Ranger and one female. Obviously, we didn't know that Violet Ranger or Purple Ranger was going to be strictly a female throughout the whole season. So,
well, you know what? With strong women on this team, with strong women on this team, though, you don't have to have tons of women on this team, because those two women alone, Shelby and Kendall, they hold it down. But number one is going to be Jen from our team up with Time Force and Wild Force. She came in like boss. No, real talk, man. She came in like post-apocalyptic attire. She looked like she just got done serving in Terminator Salvation. She looked like she was ready to take no prisoners, and her outfit looked banging. And she just like take charge. Obviously, Jen always gets the credit as far as being one of the strongest female Pink Rangers and one of the strongest leaders. Yeah, and when she came in, she looked like it on this episode. It was like, this is what happened. And it was like you said, Terminator.
Yeah.
And it was like,
it was like Mad Max.
And Mad Max, yeah. And it's like, oh man, this is awesome, because this is the version of Jen where it's like, I like the other Jen. I love this Jen.
She was, and this is the reason why she's our number one, because she was a battle-hardened Jen. I mean, keep in mind, she served many years and just as a ranger, but now this is a girl that's just like been through war.
Exactly, couldn't agree more.
So those are our top 5 picks for female boss rangers and ranger moments. Leave a comment below. Let us know what your top 5 female boss ranger moments are.
Yeah, and you know what? When you guys do make your guys' list, I'd like to see you guys try to find some from SPD, Ninja Storm,
all the different seasons.
Yep. Zeo, Turbo, even. Let's see what you
Mystic
got.
Force.
Oh man, there's so many, dude. An honorable mention, one that I don't even know why we didn't even put it on the list, was, now we're talking about it, was on our list, was Kendrick's.
Oh my goodness, you know what? That's
Kendrick's in Lost Galaxy.
We're talking about the Kendrick's sacrifice in Lost Galaxy, which was constituted as our first Ranger death. Yeah, not even just female Ranger death. It was the first Ranger death. If you don't count like Magna Defender or anything else like that. But I mean, obviously due to unforeseen circumstances, Valerie Vernon's had to leave the show. So they had a beautiful story arc as far as passing of the powers to Corone. It was such a great moment, period.
Yeah, that's another one. Corone taking over. That's another.
I thought about that one too.
So there's tons out there. I'd really like to see you guys get creative with this one. I want to see what your boss moments are, female Power Rangers.
And that's one thing that's great about Power Rangers, period, is it is female empowering.
Yeah.
Shelby took charge in this episode and saved her boyfriend. Message.
Yeah. Now on to your questions and comments.
All right, guys. Now we're at one of our favorite things that we love to do is read your questions and comments from last week's episode. So starting off with Anthony de Dios. He says, question for you guys. Do you think Peter Sudarso's character from Ninja Steel, I'm assuming, could be a descendant of Koda or someone in his family branch? I had that on my mind after the episode of Ivan meeting his grandson. What do you think, dude?
I think yes. And you want to hear a funny story. When me and Yoshi are friends, and we were talking, and I told Yoshi, I was like, hey, this is before I knew that Peter was even... Yeah, this is way before that. Yeah. I said, Yoshi, why don't they bring you back as the Red Ranger this season?
Because it would have made sense.
Yeah, as a different character, obviously.
Sure.
But have a different look, a shorter haircut, but because we've never had like an actual Asian, like East Asian Red Ranger.
No. In fact, this is probably our first, per se.
Well, even now we don't. He's not the Red Ranger. Oh, you mean?
Technically he's Indian. So I mean, that's Asian-esque.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the first because technically, if you count like Ninja Storm, I guess he's New Zealand. Yeah, it's Polynesian
Pacific Islander, which can be Asian.
Yeah,
I don't know, but like you were trying to say though, we haven't had like a full East influence type of Asian.
Yeah, Red Ranger. So I was like, yo, this would be interesting because Yoshi and Peter are from Indonesia.
Yeah,
I thought it would be a great opportunity. But however, with that being said, I think that Peter is great as a Ranger now too, and I think
we have a new legacy with the Blue Rangers.
Yeah, and I do think now that I do honestly think that there's going to be a reference into him being a relative of Koda's,
and that'd be really cool for you guys to see that play out in the season.
Definitely.
Okay.
On to the second one. This is from Power Ranger fans. Power Rangers fan.
I think that was.
Anthony.
Okay,
well, he's responding to Anthony de Dios. Yeah. He says, "Guess we'll just have to wait and see about that." But Lorenza Harris actually He did say it's Morphin Time twice. That was back with when I talked about last week with Coda.
The reason why he's mentioned that is because I think you had
I thought he didn't say it's Morphin
he said
Time.
something
I
else.
thought he said something else.
So anyways, moving on to Craig Anderson. He says, the fact that Arcanon got destroyed right away was a bit disappointing. I mean, he was built up as such a badass, but he tucked his tail between his legs when Sledge got his hands on the Dark Energem.
Tucking tails between his leg and
question
Ryan.
for him. He wants to know how he send his fan film scripts, and we actually do have an email, which is
THS@thathashtagshow.com. You can send your fan films scripts over there. I've been toying with the idea about putting a kind of like a fan portion on the website where people can post like fan art,
like a mailbox,
kind of fan art or fan fiction or gifs and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
I was thinking about that. We'll see.
Cool. And Craig's top 5 brainwash Ranger moments is number 5, Tommy in a King for a Day, which is
my favorite.
Actually,
Our favorite.
I think that was like our number 1.
Yep.
Number 4, Catherine in a different shade of pink. That's actually really great.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah, actually really great. Number 3, Jen in Time Force Trader. Okay, yeah, for sure. Ryan from Lightspeed. I love Ryan brainwashed. Well, not really brainwashed, but he was definitely under influence in Lightspeed. And number 1 is Wind Rangers in Thunderstorm. Yes.
That's a great one too. Damn Quality. Quilty. Amazing wrap up, guys. It should be good after all these are the last episodes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it says read more. The slow paced zombies were great. Also, it was nice to see more development from Coda, and I agree. But you did mention, DJ, that you felt that this is very Coda heavy, which is great.
No, it's fine.
If I'm not mistaken, the Rangers in RPM had the moment where the Rangers had to choose between a group of people or destroying Vengex base.
Oh wow! So the reason why he brought that up is to mirror the Tyler conflict on the last episode, which is attacking the zombified civilians.
Yeah, so I guess this isn't the first time we've had a consequence like that.
Yeah.
So good call.
Sure. You weren't a fan of that, by the way. So anyway, we have
fan of
Tyler making that decision.
No, I wasn't a fan of that.
I guess we have to do it. I think it was a team decision. Anyways, Andrew Suarez, he says, it made sense for Arcanon to fear Sledge when he saw him because Sledge picked up the Dark Energem. The Morpher looks interesting, and I think it should add another color to the design, but the coins look awesome. He's referring to, I believe, the movie Morpher that's coming up for the Lionsgate Power Ranger movie coming up. So I'm still on the fence. I'm still going to probably pick it up, but I do like the coins.
You like that? You don't like that they look like cookies.
I hate the fact that everyone sees that. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely cookified. It's definitely cookified, and the Morpher is definitely a huge swirl. He does like the coins look. He thinks it's awesome, and he thinks like last week's episode could have been better without Warg. He thinks the zombie parts were more interesting.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
So he feels like Warg could have been completely cut out of the episode. All right.
They needed a diversion, I think.
I don't know if he really...
I mean, they didn't need Warg, but I think that to play off a Westworld.
Sure. It was fine. I mean, again, I'm not a zombie guy. Joe is. The episode was good.
The Walking Dead's going to be on later.
So his top 5 list is Billy in The Return of an Old Friend. Okay.
Billy in Return of an Old Friend?
Yeah, I think he was the one that gave Goldar the power coins, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Number 4, Sid from SPD, when the magician alien brainwashes them, and the only way to break the spell was to morph. Okay. Number 3, Dark Robo Knight. That was on our list. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Nick during the Mystic Force 2-part finale. And number 1 is Tommy in Zeo, King for a Day.
Ooh, King for a Day, Zeo Love. I love it.
Kind of boss.
All right. Next up, Mario Ayala. Hi, guys. Awesome wrap-up. Last episode was great, but Warg looks weird for a robot. DJ, sorry for mentioning Tyzon in the list, but let's get to his top 5 brainwashing moments. Number 5.
You're forgiven.
Shane, Tori, Dustin, and Dino Thunder.
Sure.
I like it.
Yep.
Hunter and Blake, specifically Hunter, when he got after all the steam from his helmet on the island. That's on Ninja Storm.
Yep.
Number 3, Kimberly and Billy and MMPR, and that's Power Punks. That's also made our list. Yep. Number 2, Tommy and Zeo, which a lot of us liked, obviously. Number 1, Jason and Kimberly in a Turbo movie, which is also on our list, and now it's a great choice. Awesome Kimberly. Job, like always. Mario Ayala, thank you very much. Awesome, we love your comments. Keep them coming.
You're awesome. Oh, I lost my place. That was.
You got Shadowbird.
I got
our
Shadowbird.
Good buddy Shadowbird 084.
Yes, shout out to Shadowbird. Tommy has been brainwashed a lot. I guess the writers like him brainwashed. Very simple comment from Shadowberg. I guess so. He has been definitely under the influence a lot.
Blackwing 2040, our good buddy Blackwing 2040
Shout
is
out to Blackwing,
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome wrap up, guys. When Sledge returned and he had Poisandra, Wrench, Fury, Curio. I can't say that actually.
That's okay.
Snide backing him, and I was like, squad up.
Squad goals.
Plus, I watched the whole season of Gosager Sentai Die Ranger.
I'm sorry.
Go
Gosei Sentai Die Ranger.
There you go.
Sorry.
And I really enjoyed it. Currently watching, you're going to say this,
Shoujo Sentai Gingaman.
There you go. And it's great. Thanks for introducing me to the Sentai seasons. They're really good.
They're
addicting to watch. And I'm with you on that because he actually got me into Kyuryuger.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to start watching a lot more of
And
the
they're so different.
Sentai.
I mean, even if they're similar, they're different.
Yeah.
Similar like to Samurai. I know you don't like Samurai, but I think if you
Well,
did,
I'm going to give Give
Shinkenger a chance
Shinkenger, there you
because it is like the same season, but it is definitely not the same season,
Right.
which is weird.
Top 5 moments, and I'm going to start with your number 5. Was Zid from Zapped? By the way, she looked hot from
Sid, yeah.
Sid from Zapped. She looked hot in that assistant's costume when she had to go undercover. She's a very attractive
We
lady.
do appreciate our Rangers and outfits, yes.
Yes. Number 4, Jason and Kimberly from Turbo. I agree with you. Number 3, the Thunder Rangers. They were savage fighters. They absolutely were.
Agreed.
Number 2, Tommy and King for a day. And number 1, Robo Knight. Plus, when Troy went Super Saiyan Red Ranger,
He did.
that moment was so beast. And I agree.
Robo Knight, yeah. It's just like that. So we have a comment from Reynold Smith, FGCSS. If I'm saying it wrong, let me know. His comment is, he loved this episode of Dino Supercharge. Back to you, Joe.
So did we. This is from Hirozi Japan Boy. No, I'm sorry. Hirzi Japan Boy. I have never liked Power Ranger villains this much in my whole life watching Power Rangers. Dino Charge / Supercharge, to me, has made me equally like the villains as much as the Rangers. And that's a great point because they did such a good job this season with that.
Yeah, those are really
couldn't agree
interesting.
more.
Yeah.
So good. Poisandra's a shining
her a
star.
lot. I actually like her a lot.
So do I. I almost wish that she would carry over to the next season as the main villain. But obviously it's not going to happen. I think most of the scariest brainwashing moments till today for me was Vita from Pink Mystic Force turned into a vampire. That's actually good. That is a good moment.
Sure, yeah.
That's the one where Carlos was turned into a vampire.
Oh, no.
You were up.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have one from Derek Hervey. His comment is, more phenomenal review episode from last week. Thank you, sir. He says, real quick, DJ, brother, that more phenomenal snapback hat, though. What's the trade secret? A lot of time on the internet and Amazon, credit cards, and bills. So anyways, he will trade giving you, DJ and Joe, martial arts techniques, and he would like to know where he could get that snapback or any Ranger gear that I'm able to come by. I'll definitely give you some recommendations, man. You can definitely hit me up. Instead of his top 5, he's going to give a top 3 brainwashing moments, and his number 3 is Ryan from Titanium, or Ryan as Titanium from Lightspeed. Number 2, Wind Rangers, Wascally Wabbit, okay. Wind Rangers from Thunderstorm, the 2-part team-up episodes. And number 1 is going to be Green Ranger Tommy in the Evil arc.
Green with Evil.
Yep.
You know what? I'm surprised. Actually, I thought more people were going to list that.
And I'm glad they're not.
I'm glad they're not too.
I mean, that's fine.
But obviously that's one of the most. You named 3 iconic.
Absolutely. So lastly, if it's okay, check out my YouTube channel, Derek Hervey, where he has a couple of martial arts demo training content in which he's practicing what he preaches from what was stated about passing on techniques. He says, keep up the good work, fellas, and God bless. Thank you very much, Derek.
Yes, and we will check that out, those training things, sessions on your YouTube channel because,
absolutely,
it relates to Power Rangers. Our good friend, Ryan Bueta. From
you got his name down, man. I'm proud of you.
From Rangers Live Chat. Hey guys, hope you guys had a more phenomenal Halloween and LA Comic Con weekend. Joe, was awesome to see you at LA Comic Con, and I wish DJ I could have seen DJ too. But DJ,
thanks, man.
Anyways, he wanted to say happy belated birthday. So for yous that don't know, I don't know why I just said yous, but for you guys out there that don't know, last weekend was DJ's birthday. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
Belated birthday. We had a lot of fun that night.
Yeah, you took care of me, man.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of adult beverages. Overall, had to say, you were a dancing machine that night, by the way.
Oh,
overall,
well.
and you and Brian, actually.
Brian
were
McKinney.
Crazy.
Hashtag
Brian
member.
McKinney.
Shout out to Brian
Overall,
McKinney.
this had to be one of my favorite Halloween-related episodes ever, and I agree wholeheartedly. I love the zombie thing, obviously. I love Coda in this one, but I did feel disappointed when Lord Arcanon got destroyed already, being destroyed already, and I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But anyways, keep up the good work. Love you too, man. We love your show. Check out Ranger Live Chat, and
Great team.
and we
Rangers,
love those
yeah.
comments that he always leaves.
Yep, shout out to Krishna as well.
Yes.
Comment from Mikey Perez. He says, love the ending of Warg World. I have a hard time saying that.
Warg World.
Warg World. When Sledge returns, he got the Dark Energem, and he was surprised, but he didn't like Lord Arcanon backing down to Sledge, and he thought he was a little bit more powerful than Sledge, and we agree with that. He did kind of punk out. And the other thing I don't like
What a
about
punk,
it,
dude.
Yeah, he was a punk. There's no other way to say it. And to be honest with you, I expected him to at least still be menacing, even if Sledge picked up the Dark Energem. It's more like, give it back, it's mine.
Yeah.
But no, it's more like, oh, hey, buddy, how's
I
the
don't know, I
wife?
didn't like it.
How's the kids?
Didn't like it.
Anyways, his list is number 5, Kevin from Samurai. Number 4, Dark Robo Knight. Number 3, Jason and Kimberly in the Turbo Movie. Number 2, Tommy, Green with Evil. And number 1 is Tommy again, King for a Day.
Tommy, Power Rangers fan. I don't know if Nova Ranger would be considered a Silver Ranger, so that's why I put Shadow on my previous Morphin list. Anyway, I thought Arcanon was gonna morph into Talon Ranger too.
Would have been nice,
but it just made him crazy. I seriously wonder how Sledge is still alive though, which we got answered today.
Sure.
With that said, my Morphin list for the brainwashing / mind controlling moments are number 5, the Turbo Movie.
Turbo Movie.
We all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Number 4, King for a Day, which is almost on a lot of your guys' list, which I'm happy. It means we did it right.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
Number 3, the Thunderstorm Rangers, another great one.
Yep.
Number 2, Vrak is back. Power Rangers
is
Megaforce.
back.
That's the Robo Knight story arc, which
Yes.
also was on our list.
Yep.
Number 1, Shell Shocked in Space. The Power Rangers Ninja Turtle crossover. The Ninja Turtles, yeah.
Dude,
it's a great one.
Great one.
Honorable mention on the Morphin list is Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Ninja Storm, SPD, Mystic Force, RPM, Samurai, Super Samurai, Dino Charge, Dino Thunder. All right. Great. Thank you so much for your comment.
You definitely live up to your name, Power Rangers fan. So this comment is from Abigail Parker. Okay, let's see if I can get through this real quick, because we love Abigail. She says, awesome wrap up as always. Sorry to say, Joe, but Coda did say it's morphing time.
Sorry.
That's okay. We were forgiven. The episode was really good. Really liked the zombies.
Totally called me out.
A couple of people called you out.
I know.
Episode was really good. Really liked the zombie scenes. But when Coda managed to steal the trumpet from the monster, she thought, why not just destroy it right away? That's an excellent question.
Great
so
question.
Chase wouldn't have lost. Good point. But it's Power Rangers, so it's cool. And really quick, I love the fact that you say, so it's Power Rangers, so it's cool, because
You get it. You get it.
It's not about
You get it.
nitpicking it. It's not about destroying it. It's about, hey, I have a question, but we still love it. Let's see. Sledge returning was so badass. If you think about it, maybe episode 1 or 2, not really sure. They gave a small hint that it could happen when Wrench told Cassandra he couldn't reanimate Sledge because they didn't have the material to be used. Very curious to see what happens next. She doesn't have a top 5 brainwash list, but she does agree with ours. Thank you. She does have some honorable mentions though. Ninja Storm Rangers in Dino Thunder episode.
That's a great one.
Sid from SPD in the episode Zapped.
I love her.
Let's see. Chase being brainwashed in Breaking Black.
He's great. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that
Yeah,
one.
that was a really good one. Let's see. And he added him because Chase is her favorite Power Rangers for some personal reasons. Shout out to James Davies for being awesome. P.S. She met the other pillow to the right of us. We don't have any pillows with us right now. And she also thought she spotted Yoshi, Wario, and Luigi on the pillows. I thought she meant Yoshi Sodarsa.
Yoshi Sodarsa.
But this one is awesome too. I love Super Mario. She cosplayed as Princess Peach for a German carnival some years ago. Thank you for your comment, Abigail Parker.
That's awesome. And our good buddy Edward Sanchez Productions. Hashtag Edward Sanchez approved. Joe and DJ, y'all are doing a great job hosting the Ranger wrap-up. And my favorite part was Sledge return, but Coda bonding with Warg. And my favorite Brain Rush Ranger is Tommy from MMPR and Hunter and Blake from Ninja Storm.
Good
Those are
calls.
both great moments, both iconic moments. Thank you for your questions and comments.
Yes.
That is finally going to wrap us up. Here, I felt like a newscaster when I just did that.
Yeah, it was great.
That's going to wrap us here on the Angel Grove channel.
You stay classy, Angel Grove.
Yeah. But that's going to do it for us. We're excited that we're getting into the meat of what we all stuck around for, the finale.
Yeah, the finales, yeah.
Bittersweet though.
Oh man, I love this cast so much.
I
It's
do
really
too.
Good. This feels like Power Rangers again.
It does. Yeah, exactly. It does feel like Power Rangers again. But thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date with everything trending
In geek pop culture.